Before you even ask me where the heck I am headed in the dark at night time in such cold temperatures, let me tell you something. This is not nighttime. This is actually 7 in the morning, and I'm headed to the last day of my GP rotation. The rest of the story I'll explain after I catch the train. Let's run. Vlogging early in the morning is a real hassle at times. You are half asleep, your brain is basically dead in the morning, you don't feel like talking, your mouth is dry, and on top of that, it's insanely cold. I think it's right now around 1 or 0 degrees, and winter hasn't even started yet, guys. This is just fall, just autumn, which is normal. So the way my rotation works is that my list right now, my patient list, is completely empty. There are absolutely no patients who have been put on my list for today. But that does not mean that I won't be having any patients, because the way things work here is that, in Norway, normally you have to call your GP and book your appointments, right? So every doctor has their patients list, and the patients call, they make their appointments, and since the patient lists are so freaking long, like my doctor has 1,500 patients on her list. So patients call in for the appointment, and then they maybe get their appointment 3-4 weeks in advance. That's how it basically works. The waiting lists are very, very long. However, then every doctor has these certain time slots in their day as well, where patients can call in if they need any emergency help, right? But since my doctor is always very busy and she has a lot of patients to do, most of those emergency cases, or like patients who need immediate care, they come to me instead. So what I'm doing right now is that I'm just waiting for patients to call in for immediate care, and then they can come to me, and I can maybe just examine them, do my appointment like a normal doctor, and if I need any help, I'll go and obviously consult with the doctor and see if she agrees with my judgment or my examination and my diagnosis and stuff. That's pretty much how it works in here. Now I will just sit down and wait for any patients to call in, and just chill in the meanwhile, or try and study maybe. Actually no, I won't be studying. I'll just chill on YouTube.
Drunk, I've never seen you clearer than now. We're flying high, floating somewhere up in the clouds. We're going out of ourselves, can you feel it? Almost like I don't know if it's real, cause when we're doing our thing, we're like wheels that won't stop turning. So take me on a trip.
And now I will just share my reflections with you guys and what I think about this whole period, and whether or not I could see myself working as a GP sometime in the future. And if by this point you want to leave this video, then please feel free to do so. This is just gonna be like a talk or chat with you guys to update you on my personal thought process. So first of all, let's talk about how fast time flies. I mean, it's literally scary. I'm almost done with my 5th year, and there's just like 1 year to go, and it seems like yesterday I started my GP rotation. And here's the link to the vlog somewhere up here on my first day of my GP rotation, and now it's my last day. Like, it's absolutely insane. These 6 weeks flew by so freaking fast, and I'm like it's sort of giving me like a quarterly life crisis, because I'm like, okay, soon I will be a doctor, and soon I will have to be working full-time for the rest of my life. So that's the first reflection. It has really sort of like opened up my mind and opened my eyes to the fact that I will soon be stepping into the real world. Secondly, about the rotation itself, it was actually quite amazing, because I had my own office, I had my own patients, I had my own consultations independently, and at the same time I did my own evaluations, and I could always obviously consult with the doctor who used to sit with her own patients in the very next room. So I had always this sort of like help available, this backup help, which I could get if I wanted it. But at the same time, I was working independently and making my own evaluations, my own like diagnosis, my own treatment plans, which sort of felt quite nice and also safe for the patients, because at any point if I felt unsure about something, I would always go and ask the doctor and see if she agreed with my evaluation or my diagnosis and stuff. And thirdly, what do I think about choosing GP as a full-time career in the future? Now here's the thing. So before starting my GP rotation, I had this mindset that no, GP is not something for me at all, because they don't have any much variation in the kinds of patients they get, and their days are pretty much monotonous. It's 8 to 5, same patients, basically basic things. And then you can always send them further to the hospital, if refer them to the hospital if it's something serious. So it felt quite boring, and I was like, nah man, GP probably not something for me. But things really changed after this GP rotation, man, because now I feel like GPs are extremely underrated. And that's because in the recent times, at least in Norway, there has been a lot of criticism from GPs and other health institutions, where you have GPs who are basically not happy with the kind of work they are getting. And that's because they have to work like 8 to 5 or even 8 to 6 on some days, and there is a lot of paperwork, a lot of administrative work, which really drains them out and results in the fact that they have less energy and less time for their patients to provide them with the best healthcare possible. So Norway, like other Scandinavian countries, is basically a welfare state. So if you get sick, then the government gives you money, the welfare organ of the state gives you money. If you are too sick to ever work again, then you can become uføretrygd, which basically means that you will never have to work again, and at the same time you will be getting enough money by the welfare state to survive. And there's tons of benefits that you get as virtue of the fact that Norway is a welfare state. However, the paperwork and the documentation for all of this has to basically go through your GP, your family doctor, right? So doctors have a lot of communication with the welfare organization, the welfare state, organ of the state, and you have all these meetings, all this paperwork. There's too much basically office work. But at the same time, I still believe it's much better than working at the hospital. You basically have no night duties. You work from 8 to 5. You can work whenever you want to. You have your own patients. You are your own boss. There is no boss on your head all the time. There is no there is pressure, but there is much less pressure compared to hospitals. So as a GP, there is less chaos compared to the hospital, but at the same time you can earn much more than doctors working in the hospitals, in the public hospitals here in Norway. So GPs can easily earn double the amount of money that doctors in hospitals earn, and that is really tempting. So to summarize in one sentence, I still am not sure whether or not I will become a GP. I'm not 100% sure, but definitely this rotation has opened up my mind to the possibility that I could become a GP. I'm much more open to that now than I was before my rotation. That's a wrap for today's Sapiens. From next week, I'll be starting my hospital rotations, and I'm really looking forward to that as well. And before you leave, kiss that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace.